done for the people. That brings us to tonight's great debate. We got CNN political commentator Ana Navarro and Matt Schlapp, the former political director for President George W. Bush. Matt Schlapp, I start with you.
Yes,
the president, according to Mitch McConnell and according to General John Kelly, doesn't have a lot of information behind his positions in immigration and hasn't been clear with them about what he wants. Is he helping or hurting this process?
I don't agree on the General Kelly front. On the Mitch McConnell front, I think the key is this, which is Donald Trump negotiates in a different way. He told them the 4 issues that he wanted to see resolved and put together in a package. He hasn't said exactly what he wants that final package to look like because, of course, that's premature deal-making. He said to the group, by the way, the group that Lindsey Graham came back to the Oval Office to talk about their deal was not that larger group, did not include Kevin McCarthy, did not include John Cornyn, did not include a lot of other people who would have liked to have been part of that package. And he said, look, give me a deal that has DACA, wall funding, ending chain migration, and ending the diversity
all of those were
visa
touched in that
system.
deal, Anna.
Not true. Not true. He
well,
added.
It was all in there. Not to his sufficiency, not to his satisfaction, but they were in there.
Two problems with the deal. Problems with the deal that were presented. They went back to this issue of the communities who had temporary protective service, which the president said, I'm not going to sign a deal with that in it. And the second thing, the second mistake they made is Lindsey Graham came running into the White House and undercut that larger group. The president said, it's this group and a larger group. If you guys come back through with a package, they tried to cut the other people out. Big process foul.
Anna, how do you see it?
Look, I do think the president has an information gap, but I think that voters knew that, right? He beat 16 other Republicans, most of whom were steeped in policy and actually have studied this issue and other issues for years. He beat a woman in Hillary Clinton who also has studied policy for years. People voted for Donald Trump, many of them, because he is a deal maker, not because he knows the policy details. I am not surprised that this is, you know, a new piece of information for him, that he doesn't need 2,200 square miles of wall, that there are rivers and there are mountains and there's topography and there's all sorts of issues that make other forms of barriers and border security more effective. That's okay. That he doesn't know that stuff is okay. When you've got a John Kelly, a John Cornyn, a Lindsey Graham, a Dick Durbin, people who know these issues and have been studying them for years, delegate. This is not your thing. What you've got to do is make a deal in the same way that he did with the tax bill. And look at the victory lap he's taking on the tax bill. He actually had an opportunity to stand there during the State of the Union and announce that he had been able to accomplish a legislative victory that eluded Barack Obama and eluded George W. Bush, despite them really wanting to do it. That he, Donald J. Trump, was able to do it.
All right.
And, you know, and now we have been completely derailed. In a week's time, we have gone from love to
honesty.
You know, an S show.
To honesty. We're disagreeing with each other.
Listen, let's do it a little differently tonight. Please stay. We only heard from half, right? We heard from Ellison. Now I want to talk to Jim Jordan on the right. And then I want to bring you guys back, because now then we'll have more information about the state of play.
Listen big.
Now we've heard from both sides. Now we can have a proper debate. Anna and Matt are back with me now. And just to reset, there is new information, and I think it's very critical, all right? Chief of Staff General John Kelly. This question of, did the president really mean that? Was Trump running on a little bit of a bogus promise just to make himself different, just to pump people up? And everyone said, no, no, no. Listen to what John Kelly said today.
He's very definitely changed his attitude towards the DACA issue and even the wall. He has evolved in the way he's looked at things. Campaign to governing are 2 different things, and this president is very, very flexible in terms of what is within the realm of the possible.
So what is all of this? $18 billion for a new wall all the way down. That's not even what the border people are asking for, who patrol and secure it. Is Kelly right, Matt? Has he evolved? And so should everybody else on your side.
Well, I mean, I might quibble with some of the general's words. I definitely think that when somebody who hasn't had any federal government experience gets into the federal government, there's no question you're taking a crash course in these things. But, Chris, let me ask you the question back. If he's a quote-unquote evolved on the wall in these questions, why are Democrats opposing him? Democrats like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton have voted for fence funding in previous appropriations bills. I don't see any Democrats running around, many anyway, except for Hillary Clinton when she's talking to bankers, saying that they don't want that southern border secured. I think this all comes down to a very...
You think she knows more bankers than Donald Trump does?
Well, she certainly got paid more. But my question is
this. You think she's made more money than Donald Trump has?
Even her coats
Matt,
are even more expensive than Donald Trump's coats.
You need to reach back into the quiver and get a different arrow.
Listen, so the point is only this, which is, why don't we just secure the border? And you can quibble with this word or that word. Let's just get it done.
A big wall. Anna
We
Navarro,
are.
get in here. That was the initial promise.
We are.
But it doesn't make any sense. You're going to do
does
a fence
make
some
sense.
places,
Chris,
but it's a wall.
I am right now. I'm very confused right now by what Trump said last week, by what John Kelly said today. And I know John Kelly, and I know he understands border security, and I know he's been saying, even when he was getting confirmed as DHS secretary, he was saying we did not need a solid wall all throughout the border. Here's what confuses me. Last week, I heard Donald Trump say, 18 billion, we don't need that much. We can do it for much less. I'm a great builder. I can build it faster. I can build it. Don't do that to me. We don't need that much. I can do it cheaper. I can do it faster. And now a week later, we are back at 18 billion. We've been told that he now understands he doesn't need all of that wall, that it's 700 miles that we're talking about. I think the Graham-Durbin bill includes language to put barriers and border security in those 700 miles or so that they are referring to. Look, we're about to see the language on it. You know what I think?
There's no bill.
The only thing the only game out there is this Durbin-Graham bill right now. If there's any others, put them all on the floor and vote.
Now, Matt, here's your problem with this. Like Jim Jordan just advanced it. Let's keep our promises. That's why we got elected. Now you get the hedge position from Kelly. Here's your problem.
I don't think it's a hedge.
Well, it's got to be, because either he said, I'm going to build a really big wall the whole way across, or
we're building a big wall.
Now I'm informed and I've learned about things called maps and mountains and rivers.
Come on,
here's your question.
You're hanging your hat on this idea that there's some complication to building a wall. We're still going to build the wall.
No, it's an impossibility. It's always been, because when you build a wall across a river, you know what it's called? A dam. Okay?
No, but I think
doesn't work. It was never going to work, but it worked well in a campaign.
Yeah, and wait till you tell the 900 ranchers in Texas that you're taking their land to build a wall.
If you want to keep your promises,
you're going to get a wall. You're going to get a wall.
If you want to keep your promises, okay, because you're going to keep your promises. So why isn't Mexico paying for it?
I don't know what's going to happen with NAFTA negotiations.
That's your promise. That's a signature
promise. Do you know what's going to happen with NAFTA
negotiations? That's the second part of the chant.
Let me answer.
What are we going to do?
Let me answer.
Build a wall. Who's going to pay for it? Mexico.
Very, very nice, but let me answer your question. NAFTA renegotiations are going on right now. There's no question that both Canada and Mexico are going to give America much more favorable terms because they don't want us to pull out of NAFTA, and I think that's going to be a big boon to the American economy.
That's a gross supposition.
I don't think so. I think, look, you talk to any corporate CEO that supports NAFTA.
They can do deals with each other and go right through us and use China as the middleman.
You talk to any corporate CEO like I do that wants NAFTA, they're very concerned about this, and they know that the Trump administration is driving a hard bargain. I'd like to see how that deal comes out before people like you say...
That's not how Mexico pays the wall.
How do you know?
How do you know? It's incredible that people can look in the camera and say with a straight face that Mexico is going to pay for this wall. We know that that's not going to happen. If you think that's going to happen, you know what? Go invest with Bernie Madoff. I think he's sitting in jail waiting for your investments. Give him a call. Get him to invest your money. Let's not be naive. Let's not lie to the American people.
I'm not lying.
Mexico's not going to pay for the wall.
I'm not lying.
If we wanna build it, American taxpayers are going to build it. If it means doing that in order to get DACA, I think a lot of people are willing to do it. But let's not pretend Mexico's going to pay for it.
All right, so here's another issue.
No way, Jose.
Here's the issue on the other side that shouldn't be pretended about and we should be truthful about. Anna, is there a false urgency being suggested here by the Democrats? The deadline on Dreamers is not Friday. It's in March. And who knows, the president may have to push it if they can't get a deal done because it's an artificial deadline. Why do they have to have it in the budget resolution right now?
Because, look, the budget resolution provides a vehicle to be able to promote a showdown, to be able to get a result. Part of the reason, Chris, let's remember that we've known now for, 4.5 months that this deadline was coming. So we had 6 months. Congress has had and the White House have had 6 months to act on DACA. And we are now down to 6 weeks. So if you're a DREAM Act kid and you're looking at that clock ticking down and the days passing and no result being done, and what you're seeing is instead this coming off the rails, I think you don't feel a false sense of urgency. I can tell you, I travel around the country, and the DREAM Act kids that I am talking to are not falsely urgent, are not feeling falsely urgency. They are feeling distress. They are feeling sorrow. They are feeling worry. They are feeling concern, fear, everything that you can imagine.
I'm out of time on this,
negative
Anna.
feeling you can imagine.
Look, I hear it. I appreciate both sides on this. We're going to need more facts. We're going to get them in the next couple of days, so the debate will keep on going. Matt Schlapp, Anna Navarro.